It's a good day to be a Tekken fan. Amidst tons of controversy with monetization, DLC, game balance, game design, the Tekken team came out this morning with a cool tweet, an important message from the Tekken 8 team. We apologize for not meeting the community expectations for the playable character Year 1 Pass content and the Genmaji Temple DLC release method. After thoroughly discussing the feedback, the Tekken project team has decided on the following measures. Number 1, the next stage, the winter stage, so not Genmaji Temple, but the one coming out later, will be included with the season pass, right? So they are reversing their decision or their track record of selling a stage in addition to the season pass. I think this is a big deal. I think this is a big deal because in general, I find that Japanese game developers move kind of differently than American game developers. We're used to, for example, in League of Legends, like 2-week patch cycles. Quick responsiveness in that sense. I did not expect them to so quickly make a turnaround on their DLC practices. So this goes to show that the negative reviews and the complaints on Twitter and everywhere, honestly, had an effect. And I think that's a good thing. I'm not one to constantly try to be negative about Tekken 8, but this was a situation where even I felt like it was kind of ridiculous to charge for the stage in the way that it was done, where the first stage that came out was free and included. The second one was kind of like they didn't really talk about it much. They didn't explicitly say it outside of the Tekken Talk, which is like a 2.5-hour podcast that most people don't sit down to watch. So I think this is a good reversal. I hope that it sticks around for the Season 2 pass. I think this is a good way to earn back kind of the goodwill of the community, which to me is very, very important, because as long as you are, I think, listening and making changes with the community in mind, people are more likely to deal with like poor balance or decisions that they disagree with in a game design level. I think the health of the community long term, especially if they want this to be a live service game, depends on goodwill and like a positive community reception to what they do. So this is great. And then in addition to that, they're giving 500 free Tekken coins to people who log in during this period. I'm guessing this is kind of like if you bought the stage, this is like a refund, right? Because 500 Tekken coins is roughly the cost of the DLC. So yeah, this is surprising to me as well, because the monetization in Tekken 8 kind of feels like nickel and diming in a lot of ways. So to give out this many Tekken coins is also kind of a reversal. An attempt to earn back the goodwill, which I find to be a good thing. And that's pretty much that. If you're wondering why the video is so much longer, it's because I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about what they don't talk about here. Game balance. The YouTube comments will never let me forget that they don't like Tekken 8's design, aggression, 50-50s, rock, paper, scissors. And I have a future video coming out where I kind of want to do a retrospective, look at how we viewed Tekken 7 and how people were expecting Tekken 8 to go, and then kind of why my position on Tekken 8 is not what I thought it would be when Tekken 7 came out. So look forward to that video. But for now, I want to show you a Tekken 7 match. Some context. This was from CEO 2023, where I ended up beating Arslan Ash. This is the match after, where I fought Chikurin, who actually won Evo Japan for Tekken 8. So he's been a world-class player for a long time. And I want to show you where I think Tekken 7 fell short. And to clarify, I am a huge beneficiary of how Tekken 7 played. The Tekken 7 style was perfect for me. So for me to criticize it and kind of look to move forward to Tekken 8 is not easy. It's a very intentional choice to continue enjoying the series, understanding that the old games are in the past. And as much as I would like to go back, there's not really much going back, right? People who played Tekken Tag 2 and loved it also experienced this when they didn't enjoy Tekken 7. People who enjoyed Tekken 6 going to Tag 2. It's always been this chain of the old game really appealed to some people. And because it's being changed, it's either adapt and move on or play a different game. And I still love Tekken. Obviously, my brand is still heavily with Tekken. So it's in my interest to try and move forward as well. But that said, let me give you an analysis of why Tekken 7 was the way it was, and maybe inform why Tekken 8 is the way it is, okay? So I'm going to let this match play in 2 seconds. These are some key facts you need to know right away. In Tekken 7, counter hits were so strong. So many characters had safe counter hit launchers, or high like coverage counter hit launchers, right? It was like an advancing safe mid that counter hit launched. So you couldn't punish it and you could just throw it out. And because sidestepping was so weak in this game, there was really not much to do except like run in and block it, right? A good player isn't going to whiff it for no reason. So you're not going to get like bait or whiff punish that easily. You're going to have to just block it and then play the situation after. Low parries in this game were also too strong because they gave a full combo. In Tekken 8, you low parry, it uses your tornado. You don't get a full, like you get a mini combo. Tekken 7, you get your full combo minus the launcher. With these three facts, defense was king in this game. But it was to the point where it wasn't necessarily informed defense, right? To be clear, the defense was still pretty like difficult. There was still skill expression in it. However, it was not a lot of like active defensive decision making. If you look at like old Tekkens, they had you would sidestep one way to cover this character's move list, and then you would adjust for the other moves based on how they responded to that. In this game, it was a lot of just do the sidestep anyways, regardless of what happens, and you will beat most things. It was like option select defense. So it was kind of like plug and play, kind of like a card game. You build your deck with the right defensive options, which is the training and the labbing, and then you throw out your giant moves and see what hits. I know that may sound really silly. I want to hammer this point home with the gameplay you're about to see. So my character is Noctis. He's not in the game anymore. I have moved on. But I will look back just to convey this point. So I'm fighting Chicorin. That's a big, safe mid string that I just did with the 2 sword hits. And that move, this is another key move. I won't reround too much, but I just want you to see these moves because they're going to come up over and over and over again. This is Shadow Scissors. It's a safe, advancing, homing, unparryable, high evading counter hit launcher. There is no reason not to use this move. And the only counter is blocking. Unless I'm a player bad enough to whiff this move, the only counter is blocking, right? So Noctis really was kind of a character of just move around and put out your big buttons and see what hits. So I'll be backdashing. I'm not really baiting whiffs because I'm not really threatening attacks to make him whiff. I'm just backdashing to create space so I can throw out my giant moves. In the way that, and there's a big counter hit up forward 1. This is one of my favorite moves. It's like a Steve back 1, but what's different in Tekken 7 is all of this damage is permanent, right? There's no gray health. There's no, you got counter hit, but you're in a situation where the game still encourages you to interact to earn the health back. That damage is permanent off of a safe 13 frame high, right? Look at this second one, 2 counter hits. I threw those out not because I had a read on his timing. This is the first game, round 1. I did not have a read on his timing. I did not have like information downloaded about him from us playing. I just threw out the move and he died. And this is one of the pitfalls of Tekken 7 is you can develop like very, very like uninformed but hard to beat gameplay, which when I use those words might remind you of Tekken 8. There's a lot of player offense that feels brain dead, that feels like just running the 50-50. And what I would like to put forward is that Tekken 7 was like that, but defensively. Rather than running your 50-50 mix in a kind of brain dead way, you would backdash and put out your counter hit launchers. And it would be a solid way to play, right? So, I lose this round, spoiler, but there's more points to prove about that. I'm throwing out these big launchers. I don't break a throw. I get cooked, okay? So, let's look more at the gameplay. I've talked about it conceptually. Let me talk more about what's happening on the screen. So, I run up and do nothing, right? Because I don't want to get counter hit. He doesn't want to get counter hit. So, we're just staring at each other. And again, I'm a Tekken 7 fan. Why? Because I love moving around for no reason. So, I get to forward dash in his face, and because of all of my counter hit threats, my advancing, like, safe homing move threats, he has to respect me. So I can dash up in his face and do nothing and feel like I'm playing an older Tekken where I could dash in people's face and threaten an attack. Where in this case, it's much different. That was a pushback trap I attempted, but I bailed out on in the last second and it cost me, right? This Rage Rat's gonna hit, obviously. And I survived with 1 pixel. That surprised me. And then I try to do a little cheesy 2-2 teleport back, but he stayed patient. So visibly, I'm playing very nervous. And Chicorin looking to run away with the first game here. I'm playing a bunch of sidestep 2. The reason I'm playing that sidestep 2 is it's 0 on block. So instead of doing a move that's -9 and gives up my turn, I do a move that's 0 and kind of gives me more room to play. This lightning punch was a 35 damage safe mid. That's a safe mid. It can dodge jabs, 14 frames fast. So Noctis had a lot of dumb moves. Tons of characters in this game had really dumb moves. There was no counterplay except to block. Because again, sidestep being weaker was such a big deal. Now I play a YOLO hop kick. Again, it's kind of the opposite of brain dead offense. I just picked a brain dead defensive option. It all does permanent health. It beat is low, and I win. 2-2-2-2-2-2. Safe string. If he chooses to challenge it, because it is -9, there's a counter hit launcher attached to it as well. That's a bit of a knowledge check. If you fight enough Noctises, you'll know how to deal with that situation. I try to go for a Demo Man, kind of like Paul's. It was almost exactly like Paul's move, and Chicorin gets a nice low block there. I'm starting to sell. 2-2 again. He jab challenges this time. I play a 1-2. He blocks the down 2. The second hit is a safe high that counter hit launches. So this is a situation you'll see a lot, even in Tekken 8. Like there's a low. Elisa has a move like this. It's a low, and then there's a high follow-up. So if you try to punish the low, you get blasted. So I take game 1 against Chicorin. A little ugly, not the cleanest gameplay ever. But you can see that I'm not creating plays. And that's kind of where I find enjoyment in Tekken 8, both as a spectator and a player, is there's going in and creating a situation, creating a play, controlling the chaos with action rather than inaction. That was a horrible whiff punish by me, and I died for it. That is my favorite move, by the way, the Noctis down forward 2, the giant uppercut that he just did. All right, so I'm at like 40% HP. Starting to throw out my hitboxes. I get hit by a counter hit low that dodges highs. Nice little delayed tech to avoid the follow-up, but I don't whiff punish. Here's my counter hit. Trying to carry to the next wall. Not the best, but sometimes Tekken side walls will act like that. That hasn't changed. That's been in the game forever. All right, Rage Drive. By the way, Rage Drive was a mechanic that had a lot of criticism as well. So if you don't know, you know Rage Arts, right? Those are still in the game. Rage Drives were an enhanced super move that you earned for losing, right? So in Heat, you push the advantage, you land an attack, you get like a buff. In this game, you could be losing the game and suddenly become stronger. In Noctis's case, I get to throw my sword full screen in a wall splatting plus frame move. Think of like Jin's Heat Smash. It's Jin's Heat Smash that's a projectile. And then the Demo Man hits him this time, right? So on top of that, Rage Drive buffs the losing player, right? Like conceptually, it feels like a fighting game completely on its head, where you are better in this fighting game for not fighting. You are better in this fighting game for not interacting, right? It's better to just play safe defensive options over and over, hide your timings, and find a counter hit. And then if you start losing, you get a super move, right? Like, doesn't that feel a little backwards? And again, I was a big fan of this gameplay because it rewarded my skill set. I didn't like committing. I loved moving around, and it just benefited me so much. Nice parry on my down back 1. And I'm just backdashing, right? Like, look at this. Like, zoom out of a second. If you're playing Tekken 8, and you're in this situation, 13 seconds on the clock, you have less HP. Don't you have to go in and try to make a play? Maybe not right away. There's still 13 seconds, but you need to create a way to earn the health back so that you win by time, but that you KO them. What do? I start backdashing. How is that going to earn me a situation in this game? Or in Tekken 8? Well, in this game, I can throw my sword. I got a counter hit launcher. You know, there's tons of options that are kind of like counterintuitive. So I throw my sword, I don't get anything out of it. 2-2, counter hit mid, and that was sick. I like what I did there. So what happened here is I threw my sword, I played my 2-2 string, right? It hits him, so I have frame advantage. I play a frame trap mid, I counter hit confirm it, and then I try to finish the string, right? I'm like, maybe he's not blocking. He blocks. I'm minus. It should be my turn given up. I think he's going to retaliate, so I throw a parry. Like, this feels like a bit more Tekken 8 style, where I went in, created a situation, and then made a play. Now I'm playing some forward dashes. I whiff. Missed a whiff punish there after I sidestep his move. Noctis had a really good sidestep. He kind of broke some of the Tekken 7 rules. Another reason I kind of enjoyed playing. He was very privileged. Nice launch punish on my down 2. Chicken's going to get a weird combo. No. Okay, he's playing a lot of homing to try to stop my sidestep. My homing move catches him trying to sidestep, and he's in the air. Nice parry again. Leroy can parry weapons. My desperation hop kick does not pay off this time. Chikurin making some adjustments. Down back 3. Down forward 1. Like, now I'm just poking. And this is cool, right? Like this style of Tekken, I think, is not very objectionable. I mash in the middle of a string and get launched, right? You can follow my red rank advice. Don't mash in the middle of strings. Okay, 1-2, trying to fight my way out of the wall. Still breaking the throw, which is nice. Counter hit low. This puts me in a horrible situation. Last hit, he goes low. So final round, I am still up a game. But in my mind, I didn't want Chikurin to start making a comeback here. I didn't want him to feel like he made the download. I backdash. I miss a whiff punish. Like, it's not a good whiff punish, but it's something. Forward 1+2, just trying to stop him from playing the game. Right? If he's doing that low that dips down, I can counter hit him with the mid. There we go. He ducked my up forward 1. It's getting scary. I miss a whiff punish. Like, it's looking very ugly. Dash up, do nothing. Back 2. Dash up, do nothing. The reason I dash up, do nothing is because then I can dash up forward 1 and it might hit. Right? The big counter hit. Oh, here's a low parry. Look at this low parry combo damage, by the way. Look at this low parry. Look at that damage. That's like more than a normal launch combo in Tekken 8. Because I parried a low, I tapped down forward for like 2 frames. It's very low commitment. You don't have to like sit there and low parry and expose yourself to a mid. You just tap it. And that's exactly what happened. I got this much reward. Mid blows him up here. I adjust for the sidewall. Still not enough. Then I start doing some Noctis stuff. Down forward 1 to kill. And this entire opportunity came off of this low parry. Look at this. Like, if you look back at these rounds, I'm losing. Like, I'm losing the Tekken. The where we put out our pokes, put out our whiff punishes, put out our counter hits, the moving, like the fighting part of it. I am losing. I'm getting punished. I'm not getting my punishes. Right? Like, I'm visibly getting outplayed. And the reason I can secure the... Like, I mash in the middle of a string. The reason I end up winning this set is because of the Tekken 7 low parry. Right? Maybe that's a bit reductionist, but you can visibly see that he started making the adaptation, and where does he kind of... Where does it all fall apart for him? Is right here. I'm trying to pause on it. There we go. Right here. A very tiny sidestep right low parry. Right? Look at how little my movement is. It's nothing crazy. Right? I just block a high, sidestep right to cover most of his jab or whatever, and then tap down forward for just a little bit. And the amount of reading precision it would take for him to punish me for that is very, very difficult in this game. Very, very difficult in this game. So, I benefited so much from Tekken 7. Tekken 7 had my favorite character, had my favorite play style. I have all the reason to kind of complain about Tekken 8 and want to go back. But I know that we're not going back. They did not like the gameplay style that I showed. They did not like the idea of just moving around, blocking the entire time, and making no plays. Let me show you one last clip before we go. This is Nii versus Kokoma in Tekken 7. And at this point, the Tekken... This is so bright. Can we please? At this point, the Tekken 7 meta was kind of solved. People knew, at least in Korea, they had really optimized the idea that counter hits are strongest. Don't interact too much because you'll get blown up for the following reasons I listed. Instead, let your opponent make the mistake first. Look at the gameplay. Kazuya is being... Nii is on Kazuya, Kokoma's on Lydia. And to the kind of maybe uninitiated, this might look really advanced, like really advanced Tekken. I remember when this was tweeted at first, I was really hyped about it. I'm like, this is so cool. This feels like Tekken, right? They're just moving around. The difference between this and like the old Tekkens where they were really attacking with their movement or controlling with their movement is these players are moving kind of to like pass their turn, right? It's an act of non-commitment. It's an act of coverage, not an aggressive play, right? Tons of just like, I'm going to position for the wall. I'm going to sidestep so that I don't get cornered. I'm going to cover the small pokes. And there he finally gets his launch punish, right? And on one hand, it was so cool that Knee had the patience to do that. On the other hand, when every game started to devolve to this, it lost the... What happened to my clip? It lost the excitement factor. When you started to realize that nobody was making plays, everybody was just chilling out, the game, so many games just ended up going to time. And this is the effect they were trying to change with Tekken 8. So, like it or not with Tekken 8, I view it as making an adjustment, right? The game is offering me a new way to play, and if you don't like it, that's okay. Like, I miss Tekken 7, right? This was great for me. I love buying a new Korean lever and moving around a bunch, right? But you'll notice that Knee is not trying to shut down Lydia's options with his movement. He's dashing forward, but it's not to threaten the timing to abuse later. It's just to spend time, not committing. Kokoma doesn't want to commit either because he doesn't want to run into Knee's defense. However, once the clock hits 12 seconds, why Kokoma loses is he thinks it's time to make a play. He thinks it's time, all right, it's time to take action. It's time for me to claim this round. And Knee still understood that it was not time yet. So when Kokoma does down back 4, he loses to Knee's sidestep right duck. Right? But what's different about this Tekken versus the other one, this is the last thing I'll say, is Knee didn't induce that action. If you look at old Tekken Tag 2 gameplay, this is a video I recommend you watch. This is from Tekken 5 DR. The way Knee and Kyudan's play is to induce each other to make mistakes, right? They move in a way to control options. They move in a way to threaten options, not moving just for the sake of moving, right? So this video is Knee's legendary jab. It's a speed kicks video. I've also done a review on it called OG Tekken is Insane. I recommend checking out these two videos. I'll link them below. This is a good way to look at how Tekken was, even when it was movement heavy, it was still aggressive, right? What Tekken 8 has done has substituted aggressive movement for aggressive buttons. And that's obviously everybody has mixed opinions on that. But I hope that understanding the philosophy and why things are the way they are might help you get more enjoyment out of the game. But thanks for sticking around. I know it's been 20-something minutes. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content. I like to look back at old Tekkens, as long as I understand it. I don't understand every old Tekken. I wasn't there for all of them. But I'd love to talk more about things that make Tekken fun. I think it's more cool. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you in the next one. Peace.